Good morning and welcome to This Week with Pastor Dino. I'm Dino and I'm so glad you're joining us here at First Presbyterian Church of Bradenton, where we are cultivating hearts for Jesus from the heart of downtown. Now things have been a little bit different here the last couple of weeks. Of course, we had a brief shutdown due to a COVID spread amongst the church staff. That included me. I'll tell you a bit more about what life with COVID is like in just a little bit, but I want to start us off this morning with a verse from Psalm 4 that really helped get me through these last couple of weeks as I battled the coronavirus. Answer me when I call to you, my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. Now I know what it's like to be in the distress of having contracted COVID-19 and having to battle it for a couple of very difficult weeks, having to make all kinds of life decisions, as well as the decision to shut down the church for a week, sanitize everything. And we just did that because we want to keep everyone in our church and community safe. We didn't want to knowingly have spread here and then spread that to our congregation and out into the community. So that was done out of an abundance of caution. But again, it's been a distressing time. And the whole time, what got me through was being able to call upon God. As Jen and I spent 2 weeks at home, feeling sick and just not being able to really function very well, we called upon God, and we had people coming through for us with prayer. We had people coming through for us with meals and with all kinds of help. And I can't tell you how amazing it was to be able to call on God in our time of distress and know that He is the one that answers. So with whatever you've got going on right now, it may be COVID, it may not be COVID, it may be something completely different. Remember that we can call upon God in our times of distress and He will answer us. Thanks be to God. So this is a big week in our world, in our country, namely because it's election week. And election week is always a huge deal when it comes around every 4 years for the presidential elections especially. And so I just want to encourage you to pray a lot and to go out there and vote. I voted, and I hope you will too, and make your voice known. Now this week at the church, of course, we were shut down for a couple of weeks. Everyone on staff was in quarantine and isolated themselves, and we got the building sanitized. We have an amazing crew who was able to do that in the offices, in the public spaces, and in the sanctuary to allow us to get back to in-person live worship yesterday. So I'm so excited that we were able to do that. We ended our quarantines, and as we regain strength and energy, we are going to continue serving our church faithfully. Things are going to be a little bit different around here for a couple of weeks. You'll notice that in worship, here on the morning show, I'm going to be doing interviews differently for a while, and you'll see that in just a little bit. But you know what? Before we get there, let me take you to a brief interview, because I'm sure you want to know what COVID was like for me. So, Dino, you came down with COVID. How was that for you? Tell us all about it. Honestly, COVID was terrible. It's about the sickest I've ever been. It felt like a bad flu that was never going to go away. And I encountered all of the symptoms you can have. Felt terrible. Wasn't able to have my girls at the house. Of course, had to keep them in isolation. The baby, fortunately, seems like she has fought this one off, so praise be to God for that, but it was horrible and really debilitating, and I think the lingering fatigue is still around. So even though I'm out of quarantine, I'm still tired. Is it really true that when you have COVID-19 that you can lose your sense of taste and smell? You know, this is one of those things that I actually didn't even really put a lot of stock in, the whole losing your sense of taste and smell. I figured people might be exaggerating a little bit. It's completely true. And it just happened, like on day 4 of being sick, suddenly I'm drinking my coffee and I realize it tastes like hot water and nothing else. I can't smell it, and so I do a couple of sniff tests. I couldn't smell a thing, couldn't taste a thing. So honestly, graham crackers and any cereal I had, toast, tasted like cardboard. Anything I drank just tasted like either hot or cold water. It was the weirdest thing, and Jen and I both suffered from that. It's just weird, more than anything else, but yeah, it did happen, and finally getting my sense of taste and smell back slowly but surely. So I'm thankful for that. I can't wait to have a great steak. And finally, do you have any words of wisdom for anybody who is watching right now? Look, you don't want to get coronavirus. It is not a little thing. Take it from me, it's not to be trifled with. And just so wear your masks, be safe about your interactions. I thought I was being as safe as I could be, and look what happened to me. So wear your masks, be safe, avoid large gatherings, and just take care of yourself. You do not want to be dealing with the sickness that I had the last couple of weeks, and the potential of spreading that to others is tough. So just please be safe out there. Well, thank you so much for being here.
And now, this is what Ralph thinks.
Ralph, what do you think about plants?
Plants. I love plants. That's my livelihood. I love plants. Any type of plant I love, and everything with it. It's stuff that it comes from God. That's one thing about my business and everything. I grow plants and everything, but the creator is God, and it's so nice to be out in the nursery early in the morning, see the sunrise, and it's just so quiet and everything, and see the light glistening of dew on the plants, and see how the sun takes over them and such and everything. With it, you really get a sense of the Lord when you're growing plants. And I think some of the beautiful things around our world are God's creations to enjoy.
That was what Ralph thinks.
That's a Ralph.
Now, it's been a while since I've given a construction update. Again, the project is still going on. It has not reached completion yet, but we are seeing a lot of those finishing touches still being put on the building. Furniture, the first load of it anyway, was delivered for the Welcome Center especially, and it looks fantastic. The landscaping has been going on in the exterior. It really ties everything together and makes our courtyard pop and makes the exterior of the church pop. So we're really pleased that that has gone on as well in the last couple of weeks. Now, tying back to what's been going on with the building, again, I've been talking about the Stewardship campaign, and this morning I'm honored to have had the chance to interview Alan Butler, who is the chair of our Stewardship campaign this year. And let's go ahead and take you to that interview. Well, at this time, I would like to introduce you all to Alan Butler, who has joined me for an interview here in the studio. Now, we're doing interviews a little bit differently, so because of social distancing, we're doing them separately, and so we're keeping everyone safe in that respect. But Alan Butler is a longtime church member who's been very involved with the history of First Presbyterian Church, and this year he has stepped up to lead our Stewardship campaign for 2021. So good morning, Alan. How are you doing?
Good morning, church. Happy to be here and be online for the first time in my life.
Now, Alan, why, with all the craziness of 2020 and everything that's gone on in our world, in our society, in our church, why are you so compelled for stewardship in 2021? Why is this so important at a time such as this?
Well, first of all, I volunteered in January 2020, not knowing that COVID-19 was going to come along, but clearly things are stressful, and we know that the end of COVID-19 will come, but it's imperative that as a church we get across this chasm of the unknown to the other side, and then we can begin to continue to grow our church.
In your opinion, what do you think will actually make the stewardship campaign work for First Presbyterian Church of Bradenton?
Well, we've got, there's three areas that we really are going to focus on. We need our friends and members who have pledged in the past to prayerfully consider an increase in that pledge. Secondly, we have, interestingly, we had 33 members that pledged the Taking a Stand campaign, our construction project, that did not make an annual pledge. And we're hopeful that they will step forward and commit to the general fund pledge so that we can better plan our mission going forward. And lastly, we need to reach out to our new members and new friends about participating in our fund and our stewardship.
And finally, what can our church expect from you and our stewardship team in the upcoming weeks?
Well, we've got more or less a 3-week campaign, and we're going to be utilizing the Monday morning program, the pulpit, online, email, and even the United States Postal Service to reach out to everyone. You'll receive a letter from me the latter part of this week detailing some of our plans, and hopefully you'll read that. It speaks about a real miracle in our Taking a Stand campaign and how it may relate to our stewardship campaign.
Well, Alan, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate what you've done for our church and what you are still doing for our church as we head into the stewardship season. Again, church, stay tuned for more from Alan and our stewardship team coming up soon. This week at First Presbyterian Church, we have all kinds of things going on. Operation Christmas Child, there's still boxes available for you to come and grab, fill those up, put a check for $9 into Samaritan's Purse, bring them on back, and bless a child with a Christmas gift and with the message of the gospel. On Saturday, we'll have breakfast and Bible study, and you can find all the info for that at our church website, bradenton.church/Zoom, and that will tell you how to access that class. We'll have worship in person and streamed online at 9 and 11 on Sunday. And again, I just want to remind you that our God is a big God and a loving God, an amazing God who hears us when we call on him, especially in our times of distress. And having just lived through a serious time of distress, I can relate to those of you who have some difficult things going on right now. But God is there, and God is present in our lives, and he loves us so much. He wants to be involved. So let's come to him with whatever we have going on and trust in his strength and his love for us. And that's all I've got for you this week with Pastor Dino. Until next time, I'll see you then.